Hello my darlings, I hope you're all doing very well. I hope you are sitting comfortably, you are cozy, and you have your snacks and your beverages at the ready. Today's video is going to be quite a heavy one, and it also may be triggering to some of you. I am going to be mentioning things like sexual assault and rape throughout this video. So if this is a type of topic that is triggering to you, or you just don't want to listen to it, I completely utterly understand, and I can just catch you in my next video or whenever you feel like coming back. I don't know. I appreciate you either way. So in today's video, we'll be taking a look at the ever-growing problem within the tattoo industry, that is tattoo artists just being unprofessional or downright predators. As you may know, the tattoo industry has been unregulated since its conception. Sure, there is rules and regulations as to how a tattoo studio should be run and kept clean, and you need to have a license to open a professional tattoo studio, and that's about it. That is truly all it takes to open a tattoo studio and run a tattoo studio. And to be a tattoo artist, well, you just have to go through an apprenticeship, but you know, there's some out there that self-teach themselves. There really isn't anyone holding tattoo artists accountable at the end of the day, again, unless it's to do with cleanliness. You know, if you run a terribly run tattoo studio that's just full of grime and dirt, and there's many clients getting infections and what have you, then yeah, you're gonna get shut down. But even then, that's kind of rare. Like I was just saying, anyone can be a tattoo artist. A tattoo artist never ever goes through a background check. If a tattoo artist has been convicted of sexual assault, then you know what, who cares? Come on in, set up, here's your station. We don't care about that. There's no laws against a person being able to be a tattoo artist if they've been convicted of sexual assault or rape or child pornography or anything like that. There is nobody out there saying, no, you cannot be a tattoo artist. Tattoo artists have the right to touch hundreds upon hundreds of people throughout their career, and there's a chance a tattoo artist that you've been to, I've been to, could go to in the future has been convicted of some sexual crimes, and we just don't know about it because there is nothing out there stopping these tattoo artists from being tattoo artists. The tattoo industry is rife with tattoo artists taking advantage of their tattoo clients, and it is so very easy to do so. Tattoo clients trust their tattoo artists a lot. I do. I'm sure you do also. When you get tattooed, you put your trust in essentially this stranger, unless you've been tattooed by them a few times, but essentially you're putting trust into a stranger to scar you for life and respect your body and not take advantage of you while you're laying on a bed or sitting in a chair half naked. It's probably something you don't even think about, how much trust you are giving this person. Luckily, to some extent, tattoo artists' reputation do exceed themselves. The tattoo industry is quite a small industry. Obviously, there are tattoo artists worldwide, but tattoo artists and regular tattoo clients who are, into the tattoo industry, say people like me, people like you, consuming tattoo content, kind of get to know tattoo artists and their reputations the more you're in that world. So you may hear of tattoo artists being a creep from your friends or from tattoo artists that you visit and get tattooed by. They may tell you, oh, stay away from this tattoo artist, they've got a dodgy reputation. And luckily, decent tattoo artists will not give creepy tattoo artists the time of day. They won't allow them to come into their tattoo studio to do guest spots or just to work there. But then again, there is the thing called the boys club, where mainly male tattoo artists will stand alongside their creepy tattoo artist co-workers and not say a thing, defend them, let them work in their studios. You know the deal. It's a big problem. Should a tattoo artist have a terrible reputation or not want to deal with other tattoo artists in other tattoo studios, they have the option of opening up their own tattoo studios also, whether that be an open one where they employ other tattoo artists to work there with them, or they'll open up a private tattoo studio, which is absolutely terrifying because it's normally the tattoo artist and a tattoo client in one building or one room, and they can do whatever they want. It is quite honestly terrifying that predatory, unprofessional tattoo artists can do this and get away with it. Over the many years of being an Instagram user, especially in the past, I want to say 5 years, I've noticed an increase of anonymously run accounts dedicated to making awareness for unprofessional or predatory tattoo artists. These accounts will make posts trying to inform people of tattoo artists that are, you know, ranging from scammers. You know, they'll take your money and run, or they'll overcharge you for things. They also make awareness for tattoo artists with unsafe beliefs. So if a tattoo artist has been posting stuff on their Instagram that is anti-LGBTQIA+, or racist or sexist or what have you, these random anonymous Instagram posts will, you know, make people aware of that. Again, just to make sure people are safe and don't run into these types of tattoo artists, because hey, you know, if you're someone that is a part of the LGBTQIA+ community and you book an appointment with a tattoo artist that has been posting stuff that is against who you are, you don't want to be tattooed by that person. You know, and some of these tattoo artists are incredibly sneaky, and they'll do it on, you know, private social media accounts and what have you. They won't be bold with their words. They want your money, but they don't want you to have your rights, kind of thing. These anonymous Instagram accounts also make awareness for tattoo artists that are downright predatory, that have many accusations against them, or one or two. They'll talk about the fact that there are tattoo artists out there that have been convicted of sexual assault or child pornography, stuff like that. Like, they're out here doing the Lord's work, basically. So for example, this account here is called Abusive Tattooers, but it says in their bio page, calling out abusive predatory tattooers, please send your story to make others aware. You will be kept completely anonymous. I don't know who runs this account, but they are anonymous and they post things anonymously on behalf of other people. So they post things like this. It's a screenshot of a tattoo artist Instagram account with their username, and it says, Sacramento, a pedophile who killed a girl in a drunk driving crash is back to tattooing in Sacramento, please be advised. So it's kind of this type of, you know, helpful information for those that don't want to support tattoo artists like this. I certainly wouldn't. You know, I'd rather my money go to someone that wouldn't do such a thing. You know, like your wholesome local tattoo artist that's just about creating art. They love their clients. They try to create a safe space. That's what I'd like to support. So knowing, I mean, I don't live in Sacramento, California, but should I ever visit, I obviously know now not to go to this tattoo artist should I ever be there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They also posted this. It says, Northern Ireland, watch out for Willie G. Absolutely disgusting behaviour. And then it's a screenshot of a message that says, this man sent me unsolicited photos of his penis and his wife giving him oral sex and has since claimed to have found Jesus. It's always the religious pipeline, isn't it? And stopped taking drugs in the past few years, albeit all a lie to trick everyone, including his own wife. There's this account also that says, stop abusive tattooing now. Social media page run by tattooists dedicated to giving a platform for survivors of abuse experienced in tattooing. And then they have an abundance of posts about dodgy tattoo artists or other accounts that are trying to be helpful. There's this page called Tattoo Me Too Denmark. There was so many Tattoo Me Too pages that popped up at some point. And then we have one of the most popular cases within the tattoo world of a tattoo artist. Just horrible man. You may know of this yourself, maybe not, I don't know. I never did a video on this. If you'd like a full video on this case, then let me know. Obviously it's awful. But basically there was this tattoo artist named Isaiah who went by the nickname Tooth Taker. There was this whole thing on Instagram about it a while ago, and it ended up being a whole legal case. There was a New York Times article written about it. The heading for it is "A Monster in Our Midst: How a Tattoo Industry Me Too Case Collapsed." This horrific man who, you know, did horrific things. There was a case against him, and the case was just like thrown out, and he's now like walking about free. Obviously many people are aware of him, but for those that aren't. So there is two tattoo artists that I actually want to take a deeper look at and use them as examples of how tattoo artists can behave within the tattoo industry. The two that I'm about to mention, people have messaged me directly and said, hey, can you make a video about them, or can you like post about them on your social media, just so people are aware, you know, to avoid them and what have you. So the first one I want to talk about is Jerome Chapman. Apparently this tattoo artist is very well known within Australia. He is from Australia. He's one of those prolific tattoo artists that a lot of people know the reputation of. You know what I'm saying? Like, this tattoo artist has an Instagram dedicated to all of his wrongdoings. That's how you know a tattoo artist is messed up, because you have a whole ass Instagram account dedicated to everything you have done wrong. So this tattoo artist, Jerome Chapman, is from Queensland, Australia. He's been tattooing for many, many years and has worked in like tattoo studios and what have you. And since COVID, he has been working in his own private studio. And this is what I was talking about earlier. The unprofessional, predatory tattoo artists have a way of still working because they just open up their own tattoo studio and get away with it, you know? So on the anonymous Instagram page dedicated to calling out Jerome's behaviour, it says, gathering stories of abuse by Jerome, DM your story, contact ACA via email, report anonymously to police, because this account was basically trying to get people to report Jerome so he could stop or have some kind of legal actions against him. And from what they have posted on their Instagram, they tried so damn hard, and I think it just went to no avail. But are we shocked? A predator not being held accountable for their actions? Wow, that's never happened before, has it? So we'll start off with one thing that Jerome is very much guilty of, and I know we're not past COVID, because it's still very much a thing. People are still very much dying from it, especially if you're immunocompromised. You know, it's still very much something to be very scared of. I know we have like the injections and what have you, but again, if you have a very bad immune system or chronic illnesses, you know, COVID is still very prevalent in a lot of people's minds. So I know some people are bored of hearing about COVID because it's not a big deal to you, but to others it is a big deal. But yeah, I know bringing up the fact that Jerome decided to tattoo through COVID where everything was shut down and people were dying is maybe not an issue to some nowadays, but I still want to highlight the fact that Jerome thought he was special enough to tattoo during COVID. This is a DM from Jerome that someone had sent to this anonymous Instagram account that says, due to the current COVID-19 laws regarding tattooing, I am working from a small studio I have set up at my residence. It's completely sanitary and sterile environment, but it is within my house. You need to understand and be comfortable with this. If we're going ahead with booking, the address is... Coming alone is preferable. You can bring one friend if necessary. Please be very discreet about the booking, no social media, etc. As we can see, it's very like hush hush. I know I'm breaking the laws right now, but I'm gonna carry on doing it anyway. And I just think that's just really crappy. It just shows the type of person he is, in my opinion. There were so many tattoo artists that were literally scraping by, because when you're a tattoo artist, you're self-employed, and if you're not tattooing, you're not making money. So there was a lot of tattoo artists out there that were selling art prints or doing custom art and what have you to try and make money, you know, trying to abide by the laws like decent human beings. And then you got Jerome out here opening a studio in his house that's, you know, very clean, very sanitary. Stop it. That in itself honestly just gives me the ick. It's just so unprofessional. Another thing that is documented throughout the Instagram account dedicated to exposing Jerome is the fact that his tattoo quality is just terrible. Like, again, were we shocked? No. Jerome just couldn't make a decent tattoo even if his life depended on it. As we can see, they are all so very shockingly bad. Like, it's just scratcher quality tattoos, in my opinion. He was also called out for copying another tattoo artist's work, but are we shocked? Are we surprised? No, absolutely not, because this is an unprofessional tattoo artist we are dealing with here. That's what they do. They never have an original thought in their brain whatsoever other than how can I make money. They don't care about the industry that they're working for. They're just like, this client asked for this, I'll just do it. As long as I get money, I don't care. Jerome has a reputation of being very, very heavy-handed, which can lead to scarring and blowouts. It's not pretty. You do not want to go to a tattoo artist that is heavy-handed. Sometimes a heavy-handed moment can happen for any tattoo artist. At the end of the day, they are human. Sometimes they will go a little too deep while tattooing you. That just happens. But throughout the majority of Jerome's work, it is heavy-handed, and there is picture evidence of that. So we have this screenshot of a message someone had sent into this Instagram account that says, I got this tattoo from him probably like 4 years ago. It swells and becomes stupidly itchy. It's never not raised. I was so lucky that my friend came to my appointment. He was so creepy, but I kind of didn't take any notice of it. I would hate to think what could have happened if I went alone. The parlor I went to was underground in a car park, and honestly it was so soundproof. I remember the door being so heavy too. I would hate to think what he could have been getting away with down there. So I think this was when he was working in a studio. Like I said, he worked in studios, then opened up his own private studio. This is a close-up picture of the tattoo, and I'm telling you right now, this is not normal. This is not how a tattoo should look, unless a tattoo artist tattoos over existing scarring, which doesn't seem to be the case here. It is dead on all of the line work. There's no scarring within the negative space areas, if that makes sense. Like, this was all inflicted due to the tattoo artist. There's so many bits of it that are incredibly raised and incredibly scarred. There's some blowouts around here also. This is terrifying, and I can't even imagine how painful getting this tattoo would be, because surprise, surprise, he has a reputation of kind of purposely hurting his tattoo clients. For example, this story. He did a 3.5-hour rib piece on me, and he went so deep it felt like he was scraping my rib bones, and to stop me from shaking from the pain so much, he kept holding me against my pelvis. I felt so uncomfortable and unsafe, but I thought I was just overthinking it. When it got 2 or 3 hours of non-stop tattooing without a break, I felt like I was going to pass out and asked for a break, and he refused. I ended up passing out a few times, and he never stopped. He is the most disgusting human. He also would pressure me to get his tattooed idea even when I wanted to change certain parts, and if I voiced this, he would get pissed off. So I just went ahead with them because I didn't want to be a difficult client. I didn't even realize how much he took advantage of me because I just didn't know any better. Terrifying. And one reason as to why I wanted to make a video like this, because some people just aren't aware of what's right and what's not right. You know, like, getting tattooed is so completely different than, you know, going to a hair salon or a barber or to get your nails done. Like, it's so much more intimate, and like, yeah, okay, when you get your nails done and your hair done, people are touching you, but like with tattooing, like, they're touching you a lot more, especially like on your thighs, on your back, like wherever it is you're being tattooed, you're going to be touched quite a lot. And if you've never been tattooed before, you're not going to know what's right and what's not right. So if you end up going to someone like Jerome, you're going to think that's normal. It's not normal. I'm here to let you know, being treated like this is not normal. It's not okay. There may be people watching this right now being like, holy shit, like, I've had this type of experience before. Didn't realize it was that bad. I'm here to let you know it is that bad. The fact that Jerome was holding down his client so they would stop moving and shaking. A decent artist will notice that you are struggling and say, whoa, we are stopping right now. And whether that is to have a big break for like at least 20 minutes or to just stop it and carry on another day. No tattoo artist should be forcing anybody to sit through something that is clearly harming them in a big way. Like, of course, tattoos hurt and some people do react. And if a client is like, you know what, no, you can carry on, it's fine, then all right, carry on. If you request a break, you should be allowed to have that break. Some artists will 100% say, is it okay if we just carry on for 2 minutes while I finish this section? That's okay. That's not a red flag to me personally anyway, depending on your boundaries. You know, if a tattoo artist said to me, can we just finish this little bit and then you can do what you need to do, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine, no worries whatsoever. Unless I felt incredibly unwell, then I'd be like, no, we need to finish now, please. But everything I just read there is just inexcusable. There is no excuses for an artist to behave that way and treat their clients like that. I got tattooed by him and never been in more pain. I asked him to stop and he forced me to keep going. Every time I would ask why it's hurting so much compared to my other tattoos, he just gets mad and make it more painful. Wish I could get it covered up, but the fucked, I think that's meant to say, like, he fucked it so much, it's so deep, it's so dark, not even laser can remove it. Yeah, like if a tattoo is scarred, a laser cannot remove that scarring. You'll still have scarred skin. Jerome did my thigh tattoo. Whilst doing it, I was screaming in pain and cracked 2 teeth. He laughed it off, saying he was heavy-handed. He knows his technique is wrong and causes so much damage, he just doesn't care. I couldn't walk for a week after completing both sessions. It is so scarred and raised in places, and the places that aren't raised, when I get goosebumps, they raise instantly. He added to the tattoo up near my hip vagina, just so he could tattoo and move my undies across. Made me feel so ill hearing all the stories of the other girls he has done this to. I kept delaying the second session because of the absolute pain I was in. He's a fucking butcher, and that's putting it politely. Being a tattoo artist is a privilege. To be allowed to scar people for life with hopefully beautiful arts of work is a privilege. To have these people trust you, that's a privilege, okay? And to abuse that privilege by purposely hurting your clients and moving clothing for your pleasure. The next one is so bad. That was me that he snapped the needle on. I have scarring so bad the hospital wanted to cut it out. And then the person who runs the account put over this. I've heard this story several times as I'm in the industry myself and couldn't even believe it to be true because of how impossible that would be to do. But alas, it's true. This message carry on saying, I grew my hair just to hide it after so long of hating people walking up to me and asking if it was Jerome who did it, saying it was fucked or they feel sorry for me. I remember having to stop on the way home to grab something to eat and someone come up behind me to tell me my shirt was soaked in blood. I messaged him telling him I felt dizzy and describing what went on with the tattoo, and he said it was normal. I've since been tattooed by at least 10 different artists, all of which are shocked when they see how bad the overall tattoo is and how bad the scarring is, and are gobsmacked by how he was proud to snap a needle. I just still can't get over the fact that a tattoo artist snapped a needle on someone's skull, on the back of their head. This is something that he put on his Instagram account once. It said, hurt, insert person here, real bad, and almost made her pass out. But now she has powerful magical hands. I love tattooing hands and fingers and palms. If you are staunch and can cop it, send me a DM, let's make it happen. He literally is out here bragging about how he is hurting his clients. I've literally never seen that before. I mean, I like to think that I follow tattoo artists of quality. I get tattooed by artists of quality, so that's maybe why I've never seen it before. But I want to say it's rare that you would see this behavior, to brag about the fact that you've hurt your client. You wouldn't see any tattoo artist do that. Most artists are like, I'm so sorry I'm hurting you, oh my goodness, are you okay? Like, we all know tattoos hurt, but to brag about the fact that you're hurting your clients is fucked up. And then someone put on this, goddamn, so heavy-handed. And then Jerome said, appropriate application for the body part, fingers drop out unless you get them in there. I'm actually a really gentle tattooist. Babe, you snapped a needle on someone's head. Are you for real right now? And of course there is a certain way you should be tattooing hands and fingers and palms to get the tattoo to last a little bit longer, because they do have a reputation of falling out. As you can tell, I've had my hands and fingers and palms tattooed. Mine aren't scarred and raised and looking like absolute garbage, you know? Like, it's very doable without fully killing your clients. Jerome also has a reputation of tattooing underage girls. Are we shocked by this? No. Hi, I want to share my story. When I was underage, Jerome followed me on Instagram and started messaging me asking if I'd want to get tattooed by him. I explained I was underage and didn't have any tattoos, but he still insisted I come in and get one from him. He continuously messaged me saying he would give me discounts, it would all be private, but when I explained I wasn't comfortable, he told me I wouldn't find a better person for my first tattoo. I'm so glad I never went and got tattooed by him after hearing everyone's experiences. Wish I had the screenshots, but I blocked him about a year ago. Preying on underage girls makes you nothing but a predator. I don't even want to think about what could have happened in his private studio with this underage girl who's never been tattooed before, who doesn't know any different, who is young. Then this Instagram account posted up this saying, several of you have already messaged me saying you go to school with several girls who are covered in Jerome's tattoos and are 15 to 16. And Jerome knew this and didn't care. Please come forward. This is the easiest way to stop Jerome and revoke his license. So where Jerome is located and works, which is Ashgrove, Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, you must be 18 or over to get a tattoo. It's illegal to tattoo a person under 18, even if your parent or guardian agrees. And then, surprise, surprise, the most shocking revelation of all time. You would never have guessed that I'm about to say what I'm about to say at all. Please sense my sarcasm. If you can't sense my sarcasm, I'm being very sarcastic here. Jerome is nothing but a predator as well. When I was just 18, I followed his page trying to get feelers out for an artist for my first tattoo. He messaged me asking if I'd be interested in getting something from him, and then started getting pushy when I told him I wasn't sure of what I wanted wear on my body. We'd spam me, I think that means he'd spam me with his tattoos, not very good mind you, and pushing me to get them on my arse or around my boobs. 18 years old, never had a tattoo before. This tattoo artist is reaching out to this person, being like, oh, you know, you should get this tattoo. Oh, you should get it on your arse. You should get it on your boobs. What decent tattoo artist would ever do such a thing? If you have ever been messaged by a tattoo artist suggesting that you get one of their tattoos on, you know, intimate places or places that are normally hidden by clothes for the majority of the time of your life, red flag, not okay. Hey, these are the 3 worst tattoos I got done by Jerome in 2017. I was in high school, which he knew, and he would always point out that he didn't need to check ID because he didn't care what age you were. They were some of my first tattoos, so I had no clue that there wasn't supposed to be so much blood, pain, scarring. He made sexual advances towards me and definitely took advantage of his position of power as the artist. I will also say, whilst in the studio, much like others, he did not want to give me any covering for my boobs, and when I asked for some paper towel to fashion some for myself, he gave me tape but did not assist. Once he started tattooing me, he noticed no one else was in the studio, and he said that he should have made me just lay with my boobs out. This, of course, is also not okay. A tattoo artist should not be making these kind of comments by being all like, oh, well, you know, there's no one else here, so you may as well just have your tits out. What the fuck? So Jerome is still tattooing to this day. This is his Instagram account. You can run, but you can't hide, honey. Okay. Funny enough, on his Instagram, it just says Brisbane tattoo artist. I guess he doesn't want people searching for him via his name because, well, we've all seen what's, you know, out there on Instagram at least. It's always been a bit of a red flag to me when a tattoo artist doesn't have their name on their Instagram. Like, I can understand from some point of view, you know, they're trying to hide from people in their life, you know, they're a victim of abuse and sexual assault themselves or what have you. They wanted to stay kind of anonymous for their safety. Like, that part I understand. But then you've got people like Jerome that are hiding their names because of the allegations against him. I also want to take note that he has changed his appearance a lot over the years. So this Instagram account started documenting his wrongdoings in 2021. It is now obviously near the end of 2024. And within that time, he has changed quite a bit. So this is what he used to look like. He used to have long hair, dreads, a number of facial tattoos and what have you. He still has some of them. He also seems to have dropped quite a bit of weight as well. And then this is what he looked like just under a year ago. As you can see, his face spider tattoo has faded quite significantly. I think it's being lasered off, to be honest with you, but all the rest of the tattoos match up anyway, like with the neck and what have you. And then there's this photo from July. You can just about see him in the back there, but his like spider tattoo is barely visible. Again, I think it's being lasered off. And then again, more proof that the spider tattoo is being lasered off of his face, and more proof that all the tattoos are matching up and this is the correct person. And this is the most recent selfie of him that I used earlier in this video. Again, the only difference here is the fact that the spider tattoo has been lasered off quite significantly. It's kind of funny how he tried to change his appearance to ditch how he used to look when he was being accused of some horrific things, but his tattoos are so distinguishable. Like, it's just, you can't hide. Like, nice try, but like you failed miserably. The fact that his Instagram page says tried the rest, now try the best. Really? You're gonna do all of this and say all of that? That's very, very bold, Jerome. Especially as you are a professional tattoo artist, but you're tattooing on towels. Sir, bye. So yeah, I highly recommend that you stay far away from Jerome for your safety and for your skin's safety as well. And I feel like Jerome was a good example of just how terrible tattoo artists can be out there, and this hopefully has helped you see red flags from Jerome's case. And if you ever notice a tattoo artist that you go to display any of that type of behavior, then please know it's not normal, it's not okay. And if you are ever questioning your safety throughout a tattoo appointment, oh my goodness, please try to get to safety as quick as possible. If you ever feel like you are in danger, ring the police immediately, as soon as you most possibly can, or communicate with someone that is close by to you. Let people know that you are being tattooed, especially if it is with a new tattoo artist, someone you've never been to before. At least let a friend or a family member know that you are being tattooed on that day and at a certain location, or at least give a name. But yeah, please do stay safe out there and look out for the red flags. Just be vigilant, you know? Like, I don't want to put the fear in people. Tattoo artists like Jerome are kind of rare. I've been, touch wood, I've been incredibly lucky when it comes to being tattooed. I've never experienced a bad tattoo appointment. And I've been tattooed a lot by many different tattoo artists in tattoo conventions and in some different countries as well. Different types of tattoo studios, private, open. And I've been, you know, lucky. I shouldn't have to say I've been lucky, because it shouldn't be like that. But just know that it can happen, and to look out for the red flags. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is coming from Germany. This seems to be a big thing that's happening in Germany right now. Again, I was sent a message about this, but there is this Instagram page that has a lot of followers. This is the most followed tattoo predatory awareness page I've ever seen. It's called, I'm gonna butcher the name or pronunciation of it, I'm so sorry, but it's Kine Safe Space. The majority of this page is in German, and again, I don't speak German myself, but there is a translation function on Instagram, and their bio says, we anonymously share your adverse experiences with the German language tattoo scene. Message via DM or to their email. They also have highlight reels of like the major German cities by the looks of things. They got Hamburg there and Berlin. About 2 weeks ago, this Instagram page did 3 posts dedicated to one tattoo artist, and within each of these posts there is at least 10 accounts of people dealing with a tattoo artist that has some very serious allegations against them. This tattoo artist goes by the name of Iosep Inc. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right, but it's IOSEP Inc. His real name is Iosep Umbokdes. I think I'm fully butchering that, by the way. I did try to Google how to pronounce that last name. Nothing was helping me. Since these allegations have been posted, Iosep has done a runner. He's gone. He could literally be anywhere within Germany or Europe. Police have been informed of these allegations. I just wanted to let you know, like, police are involved. Iosep is a tattoo artist that normally specializes in fine line black work tattoos. He does a bit of script, a bit of realism, micro tattoos, that kind of vibe. Iosep also opened up his own tattoo studio late 2018. This was announced on one of his Facebook pages. He has 2. So there's this one and this one. This was the announcement video and announcement post. Even though it says in this post he is opening up his own tattoo studio, allegedly his brother actually owned the studio, and Iosep was just the leading tattoo artist and I guess a manager too. I believe this was put on Instagram as well, but his Instagram profiles minus a photography one are all private, conveniently. The majority of evidence of this tattoo studio ever being a thing has been attempted to be wiped, basically. So this is what happens when you go onto their Instagram page. There is nothing. It's gone. And this is what it looks like on Google. It is permanently closed. There was other people working at this studio. It wasn't a private studio. It wasn't just Iosep by himself in this studio. Jumping ahead of myself here, I did Google image translate the majority of the posts that talk about Iosep, and one of them said this: I went to the studio once and got a tattoo from one of their artists and noticed a really strange atmosphere in the studio. He treated his staff terribly and there was a really strange dynamic between him and the girls. He had to approve every single line they did, even though they weren't beginners, and he treated them very condescendingly. His partner at the time came into the store once, and their dynamic also seemed incredibly strange. He behaved almost narcissistically. When I went to the bathroom in the basement, I saw his private studio with the bed, and it all seemed super weird to me. Allegedly, he had this private room within this tattoo studio, and he did like photography in there and all of that kind of stuff, and it was a little bit like, it was creepy. And a lot of the crimes that he did were taking place in this strange room in this tattoo studio. He's also a photographer, but he hasn't posted on his photography Instagram page since earlier this year, but I'm letting you know, just in case you come across this person, he could be, you know, using a different alias and trying to work as a photographer or as a tattoo artist. So, of course, if you see someone that looks like him, but using a different name, just stay clear. He is a terrible human being. So within the 3 posts, there is one story that is written in English, so I'm going to read that now. And then I have used, I think, is it Google Lens or Google Image Translate to translate some of them. Some of them I'm just not going to read because they are very graphic and very upsetting. From the ones I'm gonna read, you'll get the picture of the type of person this tattoo artist is. So this one, the one in English, says, "Hello, I have a similar story. I was friends with him and just went to his workplace to check in and chat about life. He hinted at sex, but I didn't want anything to happen between us. Later we went down to the basement to listen to music like we did on our first meeting, but he didn't put on any music. Instead, he started making advances, but I refused. In the end, he took off my pants and forced himself on me from behind. It lasted about 3 minutes and he finished inside me. Afterward, he told me to leave, saying he had to go somewhere. While he was on the phone, I overheard a woman's voice saying she was on her way to the studio and would arrive soon." I just like, so this is one that I've translated from German to English. We got on well when we were tattooing and we had a few things after that, but when it died down, the next time I went to the studio for a touch-up, he made a small change to the tattoo as well as touching it up and then said I didn't have to pay for it. I was confused at first because the touch-up was included in the price of the tattoo and I hadn't expected any cost anyway. He acted quite defiantly and emphasized his generosity. The vibe was strange. Then he said he wanted to take a photo of it and went with me into the basement. There he led me into a hidden room. He walked behind me and I was totally confused about where we were going. Then he pushed my neck forward, pulled down my pants and penetrated me from behind. I put up with it and then left. I got the morning after pill from the nearest pharmacy. And then there was this one that I translated that kind of just, it puts into perspective just how big this whole thing is. Again, there is many stories that I haven't read out just again because of the graphic nature of them and just how awful it all is, you know. But there's this one that says 4 other people have written to us who have had a negative experience with the person in question but are too afraid to share it. The fact that there is more than one person talking about this is awful, obviously, but the fact that there is handfuls of people coming forward talking about their experience is horrible. And then of course there's going to be people that aren't aware of this Instagram account or don't feel comfortable at all messaging this Instagram account to share their story. The fact that there are people, you know, terrified to share their story is so heartbreaking. The fact that some of these people have gone to get a tattoo, trusted this tattoo artist, they then get led down to a basement and then are assaulted when they think they're about to have their a photo taken of their tattoo to be posted on social media. What the fuck is wrong with this man? I truly hope he is caught and there is enough evidence to convict him. He ends up in jail and then karma can take good care of him, because we all know what happens to rapists in prison, and I hope it happens to him frequently. If that makes me an evil person, I don't care. You don't want to abide by people's consent. I hope your right to having consent is stripped away from you regularly. I applaud everyone that has come forward to talk about their experience, because I can't even imagine how hard that is to, you know, talk about that. Send a random person a message and being like, hey, yeah, I've been through this also. It cannot be easy by any means. It takes a lot of bravery to do such a thing. You want to know why women are so pissed off on social media lately? Because we have to see this all day, every day. Or live it. Experience it. If you ever see someone on social media say, ugh, men, now you know why. And yeah, it's not all men, but it's always a man. And yeah, my heart does go out to those that have experienced terrible behaviour at the hands of tattoo artists. It's not okay. there needs to be something implemented somewhere that regulates the tattoo industry more. I know some people are very against background checks just because, you know, yes, there are tattoo artists out there that are criminals because, you know, their past or what have you, you know, they've maybe stolen something to pay their bills or feed their family. We're not bothered about that as such. It's the sexual assault, it's the rapiness, it's the abusing women. That's what we care about, okay? Like, everyone has a past. Some people's pasts can be excused, some cannot. I don't think anyone convicted of sexual assault or rape or pedophilia should be a tattoo artist. I will die on that hill. If you think otherwise, then yikes. And in case there is anyone out there that is dense enough to write a whole ass essay about rehabilitation and how, you know, people change, people deserve a second shot. No. Sexual assault is a choice and something you do not need to do to survive. There is never any excuses. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But I don't think anything will ever change, to be honest with you. Not in my lifetime anyway. Or our lifetime. I feel like it's something that will probably change when things get far too out of hand. And that, in my opinion, things are far too out of hand already. You've got volunteers on social media trying to make people aware of tattoo artists being creepy. Nobody should be doing this. It shouldn't be a thing. But alas, people have to take things into their own hands because those that should care don't care. But hey, what's new? What's new? Okay, I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for watching and being here. I appreciate you all so much. And until my next video, bye.